a lot of people have this question. They wonder, how long should I allow a man to string me along before I decide to break up with him because it's taking too long to propose?
Essentially, we all desire to have a partnership and a union, and I think the ultimate partnership would be a marriage. Time does not mean you know somebody. So they're not mutual. Majority of the time it can go that way. So the longer you're around somebody, you feel like you can know them. But there's no guarantee on that.
Like, do they have to be 6 feet tall with 6-pack abs?
I need to know that I can trust you and rely on you and depend on you and know that you will be there for me. I need to know these things. I need to trust and feel these things. In the flush the toilet, when time I'm done, in the put on the seat, I can't manage this. Lord God, in the know to take out the trash, Lord God, I can't,
And I tell you this, a lot of us don't know until we get married. Yo, welcome back to another episode of the worst relationship advice ever. You don't know, your boy Darren, Salmon here, coming at you again with another episode. Thank you so much for joining me once again, and thank you so much for watching the previous episodes. I know you've been enjoying it. Definitely share and like and subscribe, all right, so we can keep the channel growing. Man, today we're going to be discussing another riveting topic of timing. How long is too long? How short is too short for two people to get to know each other before choosing to tie the knot? And this discussion I'll be having with a very special guest. Yes, she holds a Bachelor of Science degree in environmental biology, right? However, she did not go in that path when it comes on to her career. For right now, she's a senior payroll officer, ensuring that the people at her very prestigious workplace get paid, right? She is currently 35 years old in a relationship, and she was the maid of honor at my very recent wedding. Man, I'm married now. So we have that in common in that we both love the same woman. However, I am winning the competition. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Miss Monisha Taylor.
Hi, thank you for having me, Darren.
Big up yourself, Monisha. Thank you so much for joining. Yes, you're made up honor at my most recent wedding. You did a very good job. Ladies and gentlemen, I recommend her if you want maid of honor.
All the serious inquiries, please. Thank you.
So man, Monisha, we're here to discuss a whole topic of timing. A lot of people have this question. They wonder, how long should I allow a man to string me along before I decide to break up with him because it's taking too long to propose? And some people might say, to get married already? Like, didn't they just meet each other like 3 months ago?
I know, right?
How is it that they got married so soon? I mean, how do they know that they're not getting married to a psychopath, that this person will just murder them in their sleep?
Those are all valid questions.
Right.
How do you?
How do you know? And is it a matter of knowing? Sorry. Is it a matter of knowing that determines whether or not a relationship will be successful? So yes, these questions and more. But first question for you, Miss Taylor. Do you desire to be married?
I mean, essentially, we all desire to have a partnership and a union, and I think the ultimate partnership would be a marriage. And so I guess to some degree, yes, the answer is yes, I would want to marry. But it's not necessarily like, oh Lord, I have to marry. You understand? I'm not so focused on the marriage. I'm not just focused on the idea of the marriage. I'm also focused on the quality of the union that I would have. So if it is that I find my person and we're together and we don't end up marrying, but we have we have a healthy relationship, we are good together, the quality of our relationship is thriving, that's more so my focus. But yes, we would all like to get married, because if we're also healthy and everything we're building and the relationship is thriving, end game, yeah, let's get married and done.
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome. If my memory serves me correctly, you were the one who caught the bouquet at the wedding. So, by right, you should next in line.
Okay, for sure. We'll go with that.
I'm looking forward to the invitation and the cake that we shall consume in the near future. Yeah, man. And so you say you'd like to get married. Could you give a deeper reason for why this would be important to you?
Why I would like to get married? Because that's what I'm saying. If I'm in a healthy, thriving relationship, everything is going good, and we're together for quite some time now. I mean, I think it's only, when I say quite some time, I mean, call it 2-3 years, and everything is going according to plan, or everything is ideally going how I want it. I don't see why we shouldn't wed. There are also legal implications as to why it makes sense to marry. There are also, and I'm not even going to be on the forefront of peer pressure or societal needs and wants for me to get married, because it's not, I don't care what other people think, I care what I think. And yes, I would like to get married, but it's not at the utmost front of my mind to be like, all right, we're in this relationship for 2 years, we have a lot of problems, but you know what, I don't care, we need to marry, we've been doing this for 2 years. No, it's the quality of the relationship.
So that brings me to my next question. How long should two people, be together? What's that ideal time frame that two people should be together before getting married?
I mean, again, the quality of it matters, and though they're not mutually exclusive or mutually linked, time does not mean you know somebody. So they're not mutual. Majority of the time it can go that way. So the longer you're around somebody, you feel like you can know them, but there's no guarantee on that. So I would say it's decent to how long you should know somebody before feeling like
the ideal time frame. Should it be 2 years, 3 years, months?
I wouldn't say there's more so an ideal time frame, but because of the mutual link, like the longer you know the person, longer you're with the person, you feel like you have a better chance of getting to know them, because you will see ebbs and flows of this person's personality and how they are, and therefore you can then dictate, all right, I think it's time to marry this person because I feel like I have enough information about this person. All right, are the feelings that I have towards this person are therefore strong enough because I know everything, good, bad, and ugly, indifferent, and I can go and marry. I would say 1.5 years, 2 years. I think that's sufficient to then decide that, you know what, I feel like I'll be with this, I want to be with this person for the rest of my life. That's, for me, it would have been like, 2 years is solid. I don't think 2 years is solid.
Okay, cool. Yeah, a lot can be accomplished and a lot can be known about a person within 2 years.
Yeah.
Our next question is, how deep does the knowledge need to be for you to determine, okay, yes, this is a person I want?
As deep as the ocean. Don't you think you want to know the person who you're going to spend the rest of your life with? Bear in mind, this is, when I go into a partnership, I need to know that I can trust you and rely on you and depend on you. I know that you will be there for me. I need to know these things. I need to trust and feel these things. Not only knowing that and feeling that and etc. I need to also know that within this 2 years, I can fall in love with you in couple months, But then that could be like the puppy dog love stage. You understand? I'm falling in love with what you're showing me. As we all know, all right, let me not say, as Jamaican men, they will present to you whatever they need to present to you for you to fall in love with them. We know that. So eventually that facade will fade. You understand? So and moving past that, you can then get to grow and know the person and know if you're in love with this person, know if you want to be with this person and so forth. So not only will you know them, you know their likes, their dislikes, their icks, like little stupid stuff that would get under your skin, but you can tolerate it, you can move on with life and so forth. These are all things that are important for you to have an understanding of before saying, I am going to wed this person. You need to know that you can spend the rest of your life with this person. You're looking for a partnership. You are now no longer solely by yourself. You're coming together to become a unit. And you need to ensure that your unit is strong. And if you don't know this person fully, how can you have a strong unit?
So do you think that that is what's probably causing a lot of young people nowadays to kind of shy away from marriage? Because it's not just so much how well you know that person and how well they necessarily meet your expectations, but it's also how well you meet theirs.
That's also true. I mean, you're in a relationship. If you're in a relationship, you're showing who you are. Because, I mean, Jamaican saying, see me and live with me are two different things. So, I mean, I'm not saying for you to go live with somebody if you're in a relationship. But you need to know the person to a degree. And also, yes, you need to know the person. And they need to be meeting your expectations. And also, you need to know if you're meeting their expectations. So, it's not just a you thing. You know, be like, oh, he meets all my criteria. He has everything that I want. Great, I'll go and get married to him. But I'm over here not doing anything. And I'm not meeting his criteria. I'm not meeting his expectations. But me say, okay, you don't meet my expectations, so we're going to marry. I don't care what you want. I want my ring. Every day you're for so long, I want my ring. You understand? Whereas homeboy is just like, boy, I don't know if I'm ready for marriage, you know? So it's not necessarily the length of time, it's the quality of how well you know the person and how well the person as well know you. So again, it's a joint thing.
Right.
It's a joint thing.
So then if you could put a number to it, how many boxes would a person need to tick on your list of criteria for them to be considered worthy?
I don't know how to do that. I can't answer that question. I don't understand it because you're saying how many.
Like, do they have to be 6 feet tall with 6-pack abs? Can
we cut that superficial thing? Hey, people always like to do that, Cole. You know, everybody, listen, I am a realistic individual. The things that you should look for, the things that you should, if you don't look like Beyonce pulling in Beyonce money, I don't think you should expect a GQ model coming off and saying that, hey, I want you to be my wife forever and etc. Be realistic here. I mean, the more so important thing is the quality of the person and the personality that they have and their character. That is what more so I will focus on and support. So, because then we'll be going into a different whole territory when we are thinking, oh, you have to have abs, you have to be 6 foot tall, you have to carry in this amount of money, you have to be able to make love to me every day of the week, all of these things. You have to be working all the time, but you have to make sure you have time for me. Those are all unrealistic. So, no, I check off box. I don't necessarily know to answer that. It's just you just want to make sure that the person have more pros than cons. Like you should be able, and the cons that they have, you should be able to can live with them. So it's not necessarily a particular amount of numbers. I wouldn't say that. I would just be like, make sure this person have way more pros than cons, and the cons you can live with.
Right. So it's not just about knowing the person, but it's also about knowing yourself. You know, knowing what you can tolerate. And I tell you this, a lot of us don't know until we get married.
I mean, really, would you say that? Again, because the same thing, see me and live with me is two different things. Because, I mean, from your standpoint, I don't believe that you would be in a relationship and move in, right? You wouldn't do that. Whereas in the secular world, people would. So I'll be with this person for a year or so, and then, okay, let's move in and we can live together. And then you'll be seeing this person, how they are in its full capacity. So then you'll be like, okay, in the flush toilet, when time I'm done, in the put on the seat, I can't manage this. Lord God, in the over take out the trash, Lord God, I can't, Yeah, so these are all of the things that you need to you would be aware of. So it's not necessarily that when the ring come on, you'll be like, click. I think you should know your person full enough, or I would hope you know your person full enough before wedding. And also, too, you should know the icks that you're willing to deal with before you wed, not afterwards. Because when you cross the finish line, you're going to be like, Jesus Christ, I think we can't manage this, you know. Then we're gonna be like, we're gonna struggle bust it throat and be like, all right, I want you to change this, but then the person is not willing to change this, but them just want to change one thing. but you're like, this is going to be a struggle for me, but you're going to tolerate it. You're not happy with it. You're not pleased with it, but you're going to tolerate it. I think you should work all these things out before deciding to wed. I think it's more like putting the cart before the horse. The cart before the horse, instead of just having it the right way, which is the horse before the cart. You want to make sure, say, you're able to tolerate the good, the bad, the ugly of the person that you're wedding. Yeah. And that's, okay, to be clear, audience, I'm not saying run go live with your partner. I'm not saying that. But again, it would give you an idea to know to the full extent the person who you're with.
Okay. And if you know yourself to be a person that's not very tolerant, would it be beneficial for you to grow in the area of tolerance?
So if I'm not a tolerant person, but I mean, sure, that's always good to work on yourself if there's certain, but then there are certain things you just don't tolerate. And there are certain things, they're non-negotiables, let me say that. I'm not talking about little minor things where you can change, where you can eventually get over or whatever. I'm talking about non-negotiable. Right. So it's just like, I'm not going to tolerate certain things. When I was talking about the garbage and all, those things can be fixed. That's irrelevant. But the non-negotiables are things that the big stuff need to be dealt with before saying, I do.
Okay. So what do you think goes on in the minds of people who get married within 6 months?
So it could be that one, I wonder two things. It could be the puppy dog phase. Oh, I'm so in love. Oh, I can't wait to see him. Oh, the photoing. Oh, I got butterflies. Yeah, these things happen. Eventually they do fade though. That's why it's called the puppy love phase, because it's a puppy. It's the honeymoon phase. It's new. That is the sweetest part of the relationship, that, you know, when you're just getting to know the person, everything just bubbly and everything just nice, and you can't wait to see them, and you just get chilled every time. That's all lovely, but that will fade. So they're going through that, and they're just jumping on the puppy love phase. So that they're in that, and they're just riding the wave and are not thinking logically enough or thinking through it enough. They're just going on just lust and feelings. Two, sad to say, but sometimes desperation. If I were this person, they can take me out of a situation that I'm not comfortable in. If I were this person, they could financially take care of me. I'm currently not able to take care of myself. If I were this person, they can possibly give me a child. I want a baby, but I don't want a baby out of wedlock. These are all things also that come into the play. So it's more so, it can be convenience. It can be the puppy dog love, like we're so in love. And it could be desperation. These are all things. And all of those things, the convenience, that you're not thinking through it rationally. I mean, with the convenience part, you don't decide, I'm going to do it regardless. So, hey, it is what it is. Because you have an agenda. You're not marrying for love. You're not marrying for unity. You're not marrying for that. You have an agenda. This person's going to take care of me. This person's going to give me what I want. If I marry this person, me and them can buy a house together. I want these things. It's not necessarily you want the marriage. You want something else that would be associated with the marriage. So, yeah.
Okay, cool. Very honest and pragmatic answer. I did say that she's a very logical person, didn't I? Yeah, man. So, what do you think then of the people who their marriages survive, they stand the test of time, even though they got married within 3-6 months of meeting each other?
Again, there's always anomalies to the everything, but also remember, if we're going to be logical about it, the reality, majority of the people don't survive who marry quickly. Even if you marry wait a year, majority of those marriages don't stand the test of time. But for the minor few that do, I don't know what goes on in their house. They probably have a good, blissful life, and that's fine. That's wonderful. I would love for all the people who run go marry quickly. I hope they find that. I hope they find what they're truly looking for, which is that happy relationship. And it could also be that they're just wedding and them decide to them now go break up, them now go leave because my done a wife, I have it. Anything can happen. Which brings me back to how our grandparents would marry fresh out of high school, or even that, because my grandmother and my grandfather on my mother's side, my grandmother was 16. Grandfather was 19 or something like so. Them wed. And them dead together till one day or whatever. I mean, not say that my grandparents' situation, but you don't know what's going on in the relationship. And a lot of older generation, that's why them would have leave, them would have break up, them gone to live with other people. They're still wedded, they're still married. But they're not living the married life. They have outside kids, them have jacket, it's tumultuous. All of these happen. So back in our older generations, yes, you had people being married for 50, 60 years, but we don't know the quality of marriage. So we don't know the quality of life and back in those time in the 60s and the 50s when our grandparents were coming up, or probably our parents, whatever, a lot of women didn't have opportunities to survive on their own. So they had to stay in that situation, sadly. But that's just the situation at hand. That's how it is. So that's why now, in comparison, if you look at the relationships back in the 50s and the 60s compared to now, people nowadays are wedded, but the divorce rate is higher. The people are being married for a very short time before deciding to marry, because they realize that, I'm not going to this. I can't do my thing myself. Whereas a lot of times there wasn't much option for the woman, or I don't know about man, but mostly for the woman. Because, a lot of them, they've had the opportunity to work, probably didn't have the educational background to get out and do that. Our society, you're married, your son to stay in this forever. How dare you? We're not, that's shame that you're bringing on the family. So a lot of times it would just be like that. I don't know I digress. I don't know what goes on in the mind of people who marry in a short term of knowing each other, but live to end up being together for whatever. For those who do it and are actually blissfully happy, congrats to them. And a lot of times, but sadly, the reality is a lot of times it's not like that. All that glitters is not gold. And just because you're married for 50, 60 years does not mean the quality is something that you yourself would want.
Got you. Cool. So then, what do you think about the people who they get married after dating for 2 to 5 years and then divorce thereafter?
I mean, again, people change, things happen, life happens. Again, people sometimes, which is sad, because I've seen this, a couple been together for 15 years, and as soon as they wed, life start mash up. I don't understand, because once the ring gets on the finger, it's like things supposed to stop. Things supposed to be different, whatever. This is why you should know what you want before the ring goes on your finger. So don't think like, oh no, me and wife, you cannot do this because you're not shacking up with me. I am your wife, you can't be doing this. Same, so vice versa. I am your husband. You can't be doing this. You think you can't give me none because you don't want to. You must supposed to have sex with me whenever I want. I mean, these are all things. You're my wife. So expectation. Know exactly what you want and know that. Let that person know what you want and vice versa. And I think you should be living the life to the utmost, or as much as you possibly can before the ring gets on your finger. Because a lot of times it changes. Once that ring gets on your finger, you feel like certain things should be done differently because you're a wife or your husband. Or you can't tell me no in the bedroom because you're a wife, me a husband, and you're a wife. You have to give me because me want it, etc., etc. So these are things that can happen, tend to happen.
Right. And marriage is an honorable thing. And our understanding in Christianity is that the devil is definitely out to destroy our marriages. And as you said, expectations tend to go up as the titles change. So the expectations between friends is lower than the expectation between boyfriend and girlfriend. And the expectation between boyfriend and girlfriend is lower than the expectation between fiancé.
So here's the thing. So in the instance of you moving from girlfriend and boyfriend to fiancé, I would think that at this point, the expectation is that I am aware of who you are and I am good with that. I am aware of your pros and your cons and I love you to that level. I love you so much and I can deal with everything that I've just seen you. It's not necessarily like say, oh, okay, when the ring gets on you, you're now elevated to that. It's more so you have accomplished all of the things that I don't want to use the word accomplish. You now showcase all the things that I want in a wife. You showcase all the things that I want in a husband. You are there. So you know what? I think it's time. You have shown me everything that I need. You only need a title, which is BAM. There you go. So you are showcasing me all the qualities. You're showcasing me everything that I think I need, the pros of a relationship that is worthy of a marriage. I think, no, that is when I'm going to put the ring on your finger. You want to ensure that the person has all the qualities of a wife. You want to ensure the person have everything that you want in a wife. It's not like, say, okay, no, you're not giving me everything, you're giving me 75, you're giving me 50, you're giving me whatever percentage you're giving me, but when that ring gets on your finger, that's when I expect 100. That don't make no sense, because you're now falling in love with the potential of a person. I didn't tell you that I can do this. I didn't tell you you're going to get this when ring come on my finger. Why would you expect it? I'm not showcased to you that I am capable of doing all of these things. Why are you going to expect it? You're falling in love with the potential of a person. And that's now on you as the individual, not the person that you have bestowed this potential on, who never asked you for it. So you should be like, I can work with you. I love you. You're showcasing me all the qualities that I need. I can definitely live my life with you. I eat this. Let's just make it final and done. You should have all of those qualities before. I personally think you should have all those qualities that you want in a person before married. Or more so, make the pros outweigh the cons, and make sure that the cons that you have you can live with.
But it's not a lot of work though, like to know all the criteria that you're looking for, to scrutinize and analyze a person over 2-3 years, and then to also remember, always keep in the back of your mind everything that this person has showed you, and you've ticked all the boxes, okay, and all right, yeah, now is a good time to marry. Or I don't know, a lot of people they're hoping that they'll see more come out, and so they'll delay the engagement because they yes, all these boxes are ticked, but there's still 4 more boxes down here that are still left unticked, and so I'm not so sure I want to commit to this person.
Person doesn't have to be. You will never find a perfect person. There's no such thing. You will never. There will always be minor icks here and there, but again, it's the fact that you can live with them. If it is that you can't live with them, it don't make sense. And again, if your partner has a particular number of boxes ticked and you're like, I would like for these boxes to be ticked as well, why do you not communicate with the person? You need to communicate with the person and say, hon, these are the things that I think are wrong with a relationship, or I think can be improved in a relationship. I want us to try and see if we can fix them. If those are what you need in order to wed this person, or to decide that this person is worthy of marriage, you need to have that conversation. You need to communicate. You're going to be like, oh, you know what? I'm going to sit down and wait and see, I'm going to wait for see if this person going to do it. That don't make no sense. Because probably poor partner over there, so wife or husband or girlfriend or boyfriend over there, so I think, we're here, we're good. This is a happy, jolly, go-lucky relationship. I don't need to do nothing else. I mean, I could but I don't need to do nothing else. I'm fine over here. But you over there, so be like, how much you plan for this month? You're not going to start with this. I'm not going to start with it. We're just waiting for that, You're not communicating with the person. Again, I don't know what you're thinking. That's why a relationship, I need to know you well enough for you to be able to have a safe environment to come and speak with me and feel confident enough that you can exchange whatever worry, thought, anything that's on your mind. I should be able to come and speak to you and have that conversation so we can try and improve the relationship. And if after in trying, you come to me with it, and I'm like, that's a hard no, I can't do any of those things, then that's your decision. You're going to be like, this person said them not do it, but me need this. You have to make that hard decision. Can I live with this? It's not on them, it's on you. Can I live with this? That's where it's at.
Yeah, that response is a very mature and logical response, but unfortunately, oftentimes our emotions are not very logical.
Or emotions, yeah.
And so I've heard many women say that they want their man to love them without having to tell the man what he needs to do.
That's dumb. That is dumb.
From a logical standpoint, yes.
All right, here's the thing. Sad to say, men are idiots. But like, I don't need help. Like, it's sad, but it's true. I mean, we would love for a man to just know exactly what we want. But again, men are not in our brains. Men operate differently from women. Men don't think along the same lines as us. Some do. Some 1 and 2 will be like, yeah, you know, so women like when this, that, and that done. That's fine. But sometimes, poor little simple man just they are doing thing and not even know what going. Poor thing.